26 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who had been on a warpath with Governor Sim Fubara say they've stopped the impeachment proceedings they initiated against the governor and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. Now, according to House Speaker Martin Mibule, the withdrawal follows the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He informed the House that all court cases filed by the governor and his deputy and the Rivers State House of Assembly have been withdrawn. The lawmakers say they expect the governor and his deputy to begin to act in line with the Constitution and stop violating it by their actions. Well, will this gesture of conciliation finally usher in enduring peace in Rivers State? We're now being joined for a quick chat around all that by Dr. Leloonu Nwibubasa, a former Rivers State Commissioner for Employment, Generation, and Empowerment. It's great to have you here on Newsday. Welcome.
Thank you, Hawa, for having me this afternoon.
So at long last, it seems there might be peace in Rivers State. Do you foresee this as a long-lasting peace pact?
Well, thank you very much because of the phrase, there might be. I'm sure that you and other Nigerians have also been wary of the incessant crisis and subsequent and recurrent intervention of Mr. President in the Rivers State crisis and the feud that has been between the governor of Rivers State and the House of Assembly. And so, like I've always opined, there are basic prerequisites for peace and reconciliation. And that you must understand that for peace and reconciliation to be sustainable, first there must be truth, and then there will be justice, and then there is equity. If there is no truth, there is no equity, and there is no justice. Every other thing that is being done is simply a window dressing. As of today, we are yet to hear from the lawmakers and the governor who enjoyed the mandate of the people to govern them and also to represent them in the Rivers State House of Assembly. The truth that is the background, that truth that was the background for the breakdown of law and order and the level of hostility that has been between the assembly. So if Nigerians ask today, what was the problem between the assembly and the governor? What will they be telling us? So if we cannot tell of that, it will be difficult to say that this reconciliation will be sustainable. And so I don't see it being sustainable because there is a particular constant that has continually been neglected. And that constant is the people of Rivers State. The House of Assembly, they are a variable. The governor is a variable. They are only in this equation for the period of 4 years, which is wrapping up by next year. When they leave this equation, the constant remains the people of Rivers State. What has been told the people of Rivers State that was the reason for this crisis? Has apologies been given? Because the people of Rivers State will ask questions. They have suffered from absence of governance for the past 3 years in this administration because of this crisis. They have suffered from absence of welfare. There has been no employment. There has been no education. Our children are not going to school, especially at the primary and secondary level. And then today, we are hearing that there is peace. And yet, the injury that has been done to Rivers people has not been attended to. And I think that the people will begin to ask questions. And then the next war that will be between the House of Assembly and the governor will be the war of the people of Rivers State that gave him a mandate and the people of Rivers State that ask the various assemblymen to represent them. That is where the next trouble is going to come from, because we will ask for accountability. We will want to know what has happened to our resources. We will want to know what they've done with the period we gave them to serve us. The Rivers people deserve answers, and they must be ready to answer. They may have called off the impeachment, but by next year, Rivers people will impeach every leader that has not served them according to the law and has not brought welfare to them. We will impeach them through the ballot box. And Rivers people are prepared for that. And so that factor of the Rivers people must not be neglected. Rivers State is not about Governor Fubara and the House of Assembly and probably the paymasters of the House of Assembly, yes, on Wike. Rivers State is about the people, and the people will ask questions. And that question and that process has begun.
So I was going to ask you about the people, but you've greatly put that in greater perspective. But I'm still going to go into that. Do they actually have a say in the way they are being governed? And especially when there's conflict of interest among the political elite. It's always about the government, a third party, and of course the House of Assembly. But at the end of the day, we don't hear much about what the people actually desire out of all of this.
Well, like you know, in the Nigerian democratic system, many of the times the people are relegated to the background until a few months to the election, when they begin to throw things at the people who they have subjected to poverty, because poverty, of course, is intentionally weaponized against the people. But you see, the people are beginning to be more conscious. Few days ago, you are aware how the Nigerian people, and up till now, are still agitating that the Electoral Act that was signed by the president does not reflect the wishes of the people. That's to tell you that the Nigerian people are beginning to be alive to their responsibility, knowing that government is about their life and their future. I can tell you that in Rivers State, we are alive to our responsibility. The good thing that has happened is that this thing is playing out in just a few months to an election year, just a few months to the election. And so the people are ready. The same people who voted them, and they pride themselves that they got the votes of the people this time will truly vote, because there are no other ways we can, through civil action, change the narrative, but by participating in the process of selecting our leaders. There is no other way, but by also approaching the relevant agencies to ask that a government that we put in power must be accountable to the people. Today, the judiciary has been messed up. You see, the governor ran to court, the House of Assembly ran to court. I want to see what cost the judiciary will place on those who came to court and later said they are no longer following a process that they said was constitutional. The court should have a punishment for them. And so the people of Rivers State understand that there are civil means, legal means that they, as a state, will seek redress. That's the reason we have movements like the Rivers Liberation Movement, because we need to organize the people to work in tandem with the law and the Constitution to demand for what their rights are. So the duty to organize is in the hands of the leaders who understands that they've been put there to lead the people out of this kind of subjugation, oppression, and suppression by leaders that they once voted into power. So I can tell you that the people has a right, and when they organize properly, they will demand for accountability, and every leader, I mean, you will answer to them. That's where the true power belongs.
Now, is it possible for two competing political structures to exist in the same state for the next 3 years without some kind of other implosion?
Well, you see, what's happening in Rivers State is an aberration. And we have never seen situation where politicians look, may describe as transgender politicians, who truly doesn't know whether they belong to APC or PDP. You could hear the kind of experiment where someone will come and tell you that there is a rainbow coalition. I can tell you that there will be a coalition in the coalition very soon, because they don't represent the same interest. They only represent the interest of one man who feels a political superpower. Unfortunately, he's dancing his last political dance, because Rivers people will tell him his place in 2027, and it has started. I mean, city minister is dancing his last dance. His scene is off, and he. So you cannot bring all parties together and said we are working in the same space. You are in the PDP, they're working in the APC, and then Fubara a few days ago jumped into the APC and disappeared in the foray of what do they call it? Defection. They are tired of the system that is running in Rivers State. The Rivers people who gave their love to the governor, they are tired of him because he has not displayed leadership. He has not showed strength. He has not showed courage. He has not told the people, I came for you. I remember that Governor Fubara has once told Rivers people that he will Rivers State on his knees. Governor Fubara has told Rivers people that he doesn't need to donate his liver and kidney to continue to be governor of Rivers State. Governor Fubara told Rivers people that if it takes giving his life to liberate Rivers State, that's what he stood for. Today, what he's standing for my Oga. We are tired. We need to move forward. The new phase of leadership is what we are midwifing. And soon Rivers people will know who truly loves them and wants to work for them. If you are a true Rivers son, this is the time to come home and let's work together and redeem our state from slavery. Take back the destiny of our God has us into this place with very beautiful and unique destinies across different ethnic nationalities, the Ogonis, the Ikweres, the Eches, the Calabaris, and all the other ethnic groups that I won't be able to mention. And yet, a few people has messed us up and can't make us even see our future. Enough is enough. The veil is torn, and Rivers people must take power and give it to the people and ensure that the people return it to leaders who will serve them, leaders who will stand for them, leaders who will live among them, understands their pain. That is the direction we are moving to.
All right, Dr. Nwibubasa, you mentioned earlier that there's an impeachment through the ballot possibility, or perhaps a referendum for the people in the next elections. But realistically, what options are open to selecting leaders in Rivers when the same political class are being put forward to represent them? You know, what options are there for the electorate to choose from?
Rivers State has options. As of today, we know that the APC and the PDP is under the big ministerial foot of the FCT minister. And so every Rivers man has moved away from these two political parties who have subjected Nigerians all over to pain and penury. And the ADC has offered a viable, strong, and purposeful opposition and alternative for the people of Rivers State. The ADC is welcome daily. We live among the people and we know their feelings. And so that option is available. And that's why we are calling every Rivers person. Come join us in the ADC. We will use that platform to liberate the state. It is a party of the people. So do we have options? But in our option, we will not sacrifice our desire to transform Rivers State on the altar
or platform of any political party at all. We will do everything it takes to belong to a platform that sees the need for Rivers people to be liberated. But I can tell you today that ADC is a credible alternative, and we will midwife it.
All right. Well, Dr. Leloonu Nwibubasa, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon here on Newsday.